Hey everybody! Today I'm going to be doing the Picture This book tag, where we take a look at some classic children's books and see what they remind us of today. So hi everybody, my name is Talia. I love books, I love bandanas, and I'm so glad you are at my channel today. I'm going to be doing the Picture This book tag, as I mentioned pre-intro, and it is an original tag by Jack at Spread Book Joy and Shelley Swearington. So they are the original creators of this tag. I was tagged by Emily Jean Blatt. So thank you so much for Emily for tagging me. I loved hearing your answers to this tag, and I'm gonna give it a shot now. So without further ado, here we go. Prompt number 1, Love You Forever by Robert Munsch. Name a book that you imagine you will love forever. So this was hard right off the get-go because there's a lot of books that I love, but I decided to pick a recent book. I recently read Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, and I imagine I will love that book forever. It was such a good story. I loved the science, I loved the fast pace, I loved the relationships in the story. I loved the ending. I just cannot say enough good things about that book. So that will be one that will be in my heart forever. I actually don't even have a copy yet because it was a library book, but I definitely will be purchasing that to add to my collection because it was so good. Prompt number 2, Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day by Judith Viorst. What things or books do you turn to when you are having a bad day? So first of all, I remember my dad reading this book to me when I was younger, and it brings back so many good memories. And I don't have it for my kids, so it's one that I need to add to my collection because I remember really liking it. But anyways, okay, so to answer the prompt, what I turn to when I'm having a bad day: ice cream, margaritas, and middle grade fantasy for the book genres. So things like Percy Jackson or A Pinch of Magic, just like light, easy reads that are immersive and take you out of this world, so you do not have to worry about what's going on in your real life. I would say also though, like the middle grade's key to this because it's like easy to read. You don't have to like think and focus and like try to learn a whole complex world. It's just easy. So that's what I turn to when times get tough. Prompt number 3, The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle. Which book series character sparked your hunger for reading? So I feel like I can say Harry Potter for this one. I can always seem to fit Harry Potter into my tags, but I'm gonna try to steer clear of that, so I'm not saying Harry Potter. In 7th/8th grade, the Christy Miller series by Robin Jones Gunn was what my friends and I were all reading. It's like a middle grade Christian fiction, and it's about this girl named Christy Miller, and she like leaves home one summer and goes to live with her aunt and uncle in the beach, and her aunt's like super cool and trendy, and Christy gets a new haircut and like meets new beach friends, and they have bonfires together, and like I just remember being like, this is the best, and my friends and I were like, we all want to be Christy Miller and like go live in a beach house and be so cool. So I remember those being super entertaining. There was like 12 of them, so we were like just binging all these books. Yeah, and that at that time got me really excited about reading. And they were like wholesome because they were like Christian fiction, so they were like clean. They were like kind of romancy, but like clean, you know, and yeah, I really liked them. The funny thing is, Robin Jones Gunn then went on, after her Christy Miller series, she wrote like some adult fiction too, like some adult Christian fiction. And she's probably the one that like turned me off to Christian fiction because I read one of her adult Christian fiction books and it was like so cheesy. And the characters talked like they were in the Christy Miller series in like 7th grade or like teenagers, you know, and I was just like, this is terrible. I was like, this is so bad. I'm like if I read the Christy Miller series today, I wouldn't like it. Like it's not middle grade books that I would read now as an adult, you know. It's like teeny bopper, silly like romance, and I think it's weird when like adult books have the exact same feel as the middle grade books, if that makes sense. So Anyways, no diss to Robin Jones Gunn. I'm sure she's lovely. I did not enjoy her adult fiction, but Christy Miller's series I'll definitely introduce to my daughter at some point because I think she would think it was fun. So, moving right along. Prompt number 4, Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss. What's the most unusual book you have read? Okay, you guys. Earlier this year, I read this book called Shuet, I think is how you pronounce it. And it was by Claire Oshetsky. And this was the weirdest book. And let me just go off by saying, don't hate me. I understand the purpose of this book. The purpose is to relate to people that have children with disabilities or like severe trouble at birth, and like the point of the book is how the mother's love surpasses all the problems and you do what's best for your child. Okay, I get that. That being said, there's this woman and she becomes pregnant and she says that the baby is not her husband's, it's an owl baby from her owl lover. And she tells her husband this and he's like, okay, whatever, like, we're having a baby, I'm really excited. And she's like, no, don't be excited. It's an owl baby from my owl lover. And she just kind of goes on like this. And then like, she starts like acting like an owl, like while she's pregnant, like, and starts like not bathing and smelling weird and like acting like an owl. And then she goes to give birth and gives birth to an owl baby. So like, at this point in the book, I'm like, okay, like, is she hallucinating, or is this really an owl, or is this like, I'm feeling the vibes, because she's like, I love my baby, I'm gonna do whatever's best, but it's an owl and it's different, and like the people in the hospital are trying to do certain things to it and I'm not gonna do that, so I'm just gonna take it home. So I get that, like, if you have a child and you know what's best for it, like as a mother, when I had my babies in the NICU, like I knew what was best for them, you know what I mean? And like, so I get that vibe and I get what it was trying to teach, but it just got weirder and weirder. Like, then she has this baby that's an owl baby, and like her husband's like trying to get like help, like medical treatment and help, and she's like, no, this is my owl baby. And she like starts teaching the owl baby how to hunt, so they're out like hunting rabbits, and at the same time her husband's like, you know, let's try to help our baby live a normal life, and she's like, no, I just want to do what's best for my owl baby. So again, like, I just feel for me, like the whole owl thing was weird. It was like, then they're like hunting, and then the owl's like biting her and attacking her, and she lets her whole house like go into like complete and total disarray, and like, it was just weird. The ending was weird, like the whole thing was weird. For me, it was just like way too out there. And it's so funny because like I have a couple children's books that I was reading to my kids about owls, and like after that I was like, I can't read these books, like I can't read about the owls right now. Like the cute little owls in the book, now I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a scary owl baby. So again, I feel like for me it would have more impact just to read some memoirs about mothers taking care of babies with disabilities, and seeing their stories and seeing how they feel for them. Because again, I get what it was trying to do. I get that. And as a mom, I get it, but it was so weird. And the ending was weird. I'm not gonna give spoilers, but I didn't relate to it. It was too far out there for me. So yeah, not recommended. Okay, prompt number 5, Where the Wild Things Are by Maurice Sendak. What is your favorite book featuring the natural world? Okay, I feel like I'm cheating a little bit on this, but this book, Unbroken by Laura Hildenbrand, it spends a significant amount of time on the ocean. So I'm picking this book because you can't get more just natural world than the middle of the ocean. So we have a young man right before World War II. He's an Olympic athlete, a runner. He ends up being in the war. He becomes a fighter pilot and ends up crashing over the Pacific and surviving for an incredibly long period of time on the ocean. Then ends up docking in Japan, is taken into a prisoner camp there, and just tremendous story of his life. So this is one that just has stuck with me ever since I read it and will definitely be sticking with me for years to come. Prompt number 6, Goodnight Moon by Margaret Wise Brown. Do you read at bedtime? Do you read to someone at bedtime? Did anyone ever read to you at bedtime? So yes, yes, and yes. I love to read before bed. That's one of the main times I can get reading done in peace and quiet. I read to my kids before bed, and my parents both read to me a lot growing up. I specifically remember my dad reading to me a lot, which is funny because I know my mom must have read to me more because when I was really little, my dad like had to travel a lot. But I think the times that like stuck in my head are my dad reading. For example, the No Good, Very Bad Day, and I remember him reading No Green Eggs and Ham, and I remember him distinctly reading some of these stories. So yeah. Can we also talk for a minute about Margaret Wise Brown? Because I feel like her books are weird. And I know they're so popular and well loved, but like, I don't like Goodnight Moon at all. And we have Red Light, Green Light, which one of my sons loves. He loves to read it over and over, but there's one page where it's like green eyes on it and it says red light and it like stresses him out. And like, I don't know, for me, her work is very choppy and it doesn't like spark a lot of joy or excitement. It's just kind of like weird to get through. We also had The Island at one point, and I thought that was really weird. I think I gave it to a little free library because I couldn't find it the other day when I was doing this research for this tag. But I don't know, does anyone else feel like that? Leave a comment down below. And prompt number 7, Guess How Much I Love You by Sam McBratney. Who had the most influence on you as a reader? So this is definitely my mom, because she always encouraged my love of reading, and partnered with my mom the Scholastic Book Fair, because I remember getting those little catalogs in elementary school and coming home and like circling the books I wanted in the catalog, and my mom would buy them all for me. Like, bless her heart, she would buy them all, and I'd have huge stacks of books, and she would just be encouraging me to read and always supplied me with like everything I needed to develop a healthy love of reading. So yeah, thanks Mom and Scholastic Book Fair. I looked up Scholastic Book Fair and like, it's all electronic now and it's just weird and it made me sad. So I miss the good old days. Prompt number 8, The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. Which book or series would you give to an emerging reader, or what book have you gifted more than once? So The Story of Ferdinand by Munro Leaf, I love that book. That's another book I remember my dad reading to me when I was little. His mom read it to him when he was little, and it's just a book I love. Ferdinand is a bull, and he doesn't like to like buff and gruff and kick around like the other bulls. He likes to just like sit under this tree and smell the flowers. And one day, like the I don't know, what are they, the matadors or whatever, come from Madrid to get the biggest bull to come fight in the bullfights, and Ferdinand doesn't want any part of it. He just goes to sit under his tree, but he ends up sitting on a bee, and so he's like roughing and gruffing around, and they think he's really tough, so like take him off to fight in the bullfights. And then I won't spoil the ending for you, but it's just super cute. I love it so much. So I have given that book at a couple baby showers, and it's one that I would definitely give again because it's not really a super early book, but it's just a good book that should be in everyone's collection. Okay, that's all for the prompts today. So now we're gonna tag a couple of friends. So I am gonna tag Tara from Tara Talks Books and What Brings Karina Joy. Miss Karina and Tara, I hope you guys do this tag because it was super fun. And I love your channels and I can't wait to see what your interests are. So that's all from me for today. I hope you guys are doing well wherever you are. I hope you take some time today to read a good book or two. And as always, if you are having a bad hair day, just wear a bandana. Bye.